What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, talking today about Sonic Colors Ultimate, because this remastered, sort of remake experience has just come out again, and honestly, this game is just so great. Now, I go back and forth on the Sonic franchise in general. I think that some of the games are extremely good, and some of them just downright suck, but Sonic Colors has always been very much a fan favorite, because it's essentially one of the greatest of the 3D Sonics. There has been a couple 3D Sonics that I feel like have definitely risen above the rest, like Sonic Adventure and stuff, but this one, I truly feel like this might be the very best of all the 3D Sonic games, and in large part because it just combines a bunch of different fun themes to make a video game that just celebrates the craziness and chaoticness of the Sonic universe. Now let's start things off by talking about what specifically is new in Sonic Colors Ultimate. To be perfectly honest, not much. This is pretty much just classic Sonic Colors Ultimate coming back, but now with 4K visuals if you're playing this on a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, or Xbox, or at a decent frame rate and visual experience if you're playing it on things like a Nintendo Switch. The only things that are really added is a couple tiny tweaks, some updates to the controls, and honestly, just the fact that it runs a lot better. This was originally released on the Nintendo Wii, and while I did play it on that, there was a ton of details I completely missed. I beat Sonic Colors back in the day, and to be quite clear, there's a bunch of stuff I never noticed. Tiny background details, foreground stuff, and a lot of audio mixing that straight up was so terrible back in the day, you couldn't fully appreciate what Sonic Colors actually was, but now we can. The only thing that's really new is some cosmetic stuff here and there, like extra unlockable costumes. You can actually make yourself look like the movie version of Sonic and have the special colors that were done specifically in the film, which, since I love that movie a bunch, I decided to make myself look like movie Sonic. There is this new thing also called the Rush Rival mode, which essentially allows you to race against Super Metal Sonic through different courses in different ways. Now, all this stuff basically is just window dressing. The real point that I realized that people are going to be buying this for is just to play Sonic Colors again, and even for that, it is totally worth it. Now, the major thing that personally I've always loved the most about Sonic Colors is the crazy setting of it. In this, Dr. Robotnik, or I guess I should say Dr. Eggman, has decided to build a huge outer space theme park. Yes, I am completely serious. Now, the idea behind this is that he's trying to capture a bunch of different aliens and harness their powers to take over the world. Well, Sonic goes up there and decides to completely whip his butt like always. But what I've always enjoyed is that Sonic really kind of has fun with the chaos in this game. Like, even though you are trying to defeat Dr. Eggman and save all these aliens, you're still riding roller coasters, you're still swimming around in like gigantic aqua exhibits, and to me, this is so great, is that Sonic is having just as much fun in this game as you are playing it, and he's very clear about saying that. He's constantly making funny quips, doing little offhanded one-liners. It has that vibe of a very silly, like laid-back 90s experience, which really is when Sonic shines the brightest. What's always worked the best about Colors, and I think part of the reason that people really kind of look back on it so fondly, is the fact that it has this interesting world breakdown system, where after you clear the first couple stages, it really kind of opens up and lets you choose which world you want to go. Like an area that has huge monsters and booster ramps everywhere, and you're having to use this ability to turn yourself into a brick to break through parts of the environment. Or there's this one that's like a desert level, and you have to do this drilling ability to just go through certain sections of the stage to either get collectibles or sometimes just survive. Every time I like this, it's the fact that when you're going into these stages, you can play through a couple of this and then leave that world and try something else. It has such a pick your way to play style to it that is extremely fun. Now, Sonic Colors itself is relatively short. It's probably only like 5 or 6 hours long for an initial playthrough, but after that, really this is when the game starts to really open up. There is a ton of hidden stuff in every single stage, from secret coins to hidden collectibles to just stuff that's going to let you find these things called like theme park coins. These are hidden in every stage, and if you find them, you can unlock additional cosmetics, switching out different pieces of the outfit to give Sonic gold gloves or different colored shoes. Now, personally, I like classic Sonic, so I kept this stuff relatively normal other than the the like movie cosmetics I unlocked, but even still it definitely makes it this fun style of replayability where you do go through these stages again and again. I also personally like the fact that this does have the Sonic ranking system where every time you beat a stage, you get a score like A, B, C, or D that tells you how good you did, and it's a combination of factors from just your raw speed, how fast you beat it, how many monsters you killed, and how many collectibles you were able to obtain. It's nice to sometimes finish a stage in like 59 seconds, get that A score rating, and feel like an absolute blue blur champion. Now, the clearest part of this game that feels different from other Sonic games is definitely the Wisp system. So in this, the aliens, they want to be saved. They're these like adorable little gooey creatures, and they want to try and use their special outer space abilities to help Sonic out, which essentially makes it where you can pick them up as power-ups and use their abilities to do stuff like fly around the map, go extra fast, there's an extra boost power that's unlocked by them, or sometimes some really weird stuff like transforming yourself into a freaking rocket and flying off the stage itself and skydiving back down to it. This Wisp system has always felt incredibly unique, and it functions incredibly well. I've always liked the fact that it makes it where every stage feels different, but I also like the fact that you sort of play each of the zones in a unique fashion. Now, towards the later stages, they start to mix and match. They start to put 4 or 5 different kinds of Wisp in every single level, but I even like that. It feels like there's this fun, really quirky learning curve of figuring out how to solve these puzzles and find these collectibles on top of what are essentially some very strange magic abilities. Now, the last thing I really want to compliment here is just definitely these upgraded visuals. The graphics, this is just a really, really clean new look. There's just a staggering level of detail sometimes to the background environments or little tiny clues, or sometimes just some stuff that's a lot more apparent now that we have this much more crisp version of it. Like something else is, along with the very, very good graphics, it seems like they've remixed the audio design to be a lot better balanced. Like one of the things is that sometimes there's these big audio speakers that have Eggman doing these funny announcements, talking about like upcoming events at the park, or sometimes just saying silly stuff like, "Hello, welcome to Aqualand, here where we take the ocean's incredible majesty and turn it into a cheap theme park attraction." Or at one point, there's one level where as you're cruising through, there's these speakers all over the place, and you're going so fast you can't actually listen to them. You're pretty much outrunning the speed of sound, but if you stop and purposefully listen to the jokes, you'll hear Dr. Eggman saying, "Whoever's parked their car outside, it's in an illegal parking space, please move it." It's just a little teeny tiny joke that you could completely miss, and in the original version I definitely did, but now in Ultimate, these details definitely have a chance to finally shine and be appreciated for how clever they actually are. This is an incredibly good new version of the game that I highly, highly recommend. The only real downside I encountered during the course of beating this game is the fact that at times certain stages still have a little bit of clunkiness to it. I'd say that 93% of the stages are still incredibly fun. They feel really good to just speed through as quickly as possible, but sometimes these stages, I really still don't like the times where they make you stop and solve a puzzle, or now you have to wait on all these platforms. Occasionally, because this does have the special abilities and a double jump and the dash and everything like that, occasionally it does feel like it's trying to get you to do something very, very specifically, and if you can't figure out what hints they're trying to give you, it really does drag the gameplay to a standstill. Now, this is only like 7% of stages that are a little bit clunky, but overall, everything about this game is so freaking good. If you are a Sonic fan, definitely pick this thing up. I don't want to give it a score because I feel like it's difficult to really try and rate a remaster like this that's just based on such an old school game, but if I did have to give it a number, I would easily give this a 9 out of 10. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.